What if I told you that you can make a wish that would make the person you like love you more than anyone else? Now, what if it cost their sanity, their free will, their autonomy, and you and your friends' lives? Would you still make this wish? You see, Bear, our main character in Obsession, has to deal with this dilemma. And while some say that he is a victim of a wish gone wrong, others say that he is a villain for the choices that he makes. You see, Bear is introduced as the quintessential nice guy archetype. He's a shy, introspective music store employee who has harbored unspoken feelings for his longtime friend and coworker Nikki for years. You see, on the surface, he's very relatable. He's grappling with profound loneliness, the recent loss of his grandmother, even the emotional weight of his cat Sandy dying. We see him rehearsing his confessions that never actually materialize. You see, this vulnerability invites sympathy, but the film subtly reveals the cracks in his character very early on. You see, Nikki offers him a genuine opening in the car, directly asking about his feelings, but he denies everything out of panic because he's scared of rejection. Then, in a moment of frustration, he snaps the One Wish Willow, a novelty item that he purchased instead of the meaningful necklace that he knew she wanted after losing her own. His wish is direct and revealing. I wish Nikki loved me more than anyone else in the entire world. You see, this isn't a harmless romantic impulse, an innocent wish gone wrong. It's a deliberate bypass of her agency and consent. Now, obviously, he doesn't think this wish is actually going to work, but supporting details reinforce another pattern of Bear. He even calls her by a nickname that she doesn't like, despite knowing how much she hates it. He's prioritizing his own affectionate nickname over her clear boundaries. He's calling her that because there's a chance that it could possibly benefit him. And after Sandy dies, from ingesting pills that Bear has obviously carelessly left out, he simply bags the body and discards of it in the trash. You see, these moments aren't isolated. They establish Bear as someone who consistently places his emotional needs and convenience above the feelings, boundaries, and well-beings of others that are closest to him. The wish is simply an amplification of his core flaws. You see, once the wish activates, the transformation in Nikki is swift and it's very unsettling. The intelligent, sarcastic woman that she is gradually is overwritten by an intensely possessive and unnatural version of herself. Erratic behavior, dangerous mood shifts, and moments like the disturbing cat sandwich incident that should obviously signal that something is very wrong. When he comes out in the morning and finds Sandy on the kitchen floor. You see, scenes before this, we see that Nikki takes $20 from Sarah to give to a homeless man. So it's very obvious that her character and who she is a thoughtful, sweet character. Why would she do something that could possibly bother and disturb Bear? See, Bear doesn't intervene. Instead, he actively embraces the fantasy because it fulfills the devotion and emotional security that he's always wanted. What makes this so damning is that he knows the real Nikki is trapped, way inside, suffering, but he chooses the illusion anyway. The breakthrough scenes are particularly revealing. When the real Nikki suffers in a moment of clarity, she's obviously begging him to kill her, to end the torment. And Bear's response is telling. A defensive, "What's so bad about being with me?" This isn't pure empathy or horror at her suffering. It's entitlement asserting itself. Even more telling is his call to the One Wish Willow hotline. You see, he doesn't seek a full reversal to restore her agency. He probes for ways to tweak the wish, keeping the benefits while minimizing the consequences. He even hears her voice on the line. It's nothing but raw screams of torment, suffering, but this sequence illustrates active complicity and not helpless victimhood. Bear sees the human cost and still chooses to sustain the fantasy that he's created. He even says, "So she's just fucked forever?" At its heart, Obsession delivers a powerful examination of relationships. You see, controlling someone isn't love, and reshaping them into your personal fantasy version isn't either. Authentic love demands respect for the other person's full agency, their boundaries, their autonomy, even when that respect carries the risk of rejection or discomfort. Throughout the escalating horror, Bear remains complicit. He benefits from the forced intimacy, ignoring the growing violence that's affecting herself and their friends, including Sarah, who genuinely cares for him but was overlooked in his fixation for Nikki. He denies all of the mounting evidence of destruction. The earlier examples, the reckless handling of Sandy, the repeated disregard for her nickname, and choosing the Willow over something that she would have actually liked, they form a consistent pattern. They reveal a character who overrides others' needs when they conflict with his own emotional requirements. By making Bear so relatable in his loneliness, his insecurities, the film forces us to confront how these traits can curdle into something that's predatory, even when granted a small amount of power. You see, the true horror isn't the supernatural or obsession part of Nikki. It's the quiet realization that the protagonist that we are following is the one that's engineered the nightmare. You see, now it's worth considering the counterpoint to all of this. Are we being too hard on Bear? After all, he is only human. He's dealing with deep loneliness, grief, the paralyzing fear of rejection that many people can relate to. Asking him to suddenly summon perfect courage, reverse a magical wish on the spot, or navigate the ethical nightmare flawlessly, that might feel like an impossibly high standard. In moments of vulnerability, it's understandable why someone in his position might cling to the fantasy that finally makes him feel wanted. However, the film doesn't let this excuse fully absolve him. You see, Bear isn't asked for perfection. He's presented with repeated opportunities to acknowledge the harm, to tell the truth, or at least try to undo the damage. His consistent choices to prioritize his comfort over Nikki's suffering reveals that his actions stem from more than just human frailty. They stem from entitlement, the belief that he deserves the outcome he wants regardless of the cost to others. This is what elevates him from that flawed protagonist to a true villain. You see, Bear isn't a cartoon villain. He doesn't have some grand scheme to take over the world. And that's precisely why his character is so effective and disturbing. He's painfully human, yet the film holds him accountable for every selfish decision that he makes. His passivity becomes the horror. Fantasy overrides the reality, and control masquerades as romance. You see, he is the villain, not through one dramatic act, but through a series of consistent choices that are rooted in entitlement and denial.